Day 11 of Green Bay Packers training camp is now in the books. The second day of a stretch of 3 practices this week before the first preseason game. So let's go over all the main takeaways and notes from today's practice. I just released a highlight video from today's practice, and it goes over a bunch of 1v1 reps that you don't want to miss out on. So go watch that video if you haven't already right after this one. And also go click subscribe if you happen to be a new viewer and have yet to hit subscribe. You'll stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers for every day of training camp heading into the season. The Green Bay Packers preseason is now upon us, with the regular season following quickly behind. So right now is the perfect time to start finding tickets for a Green Bay Packers game. And that's why I want to give a massive shout out to today's video sponsor, SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and even more. With the NFL season right around the corner, that means tons of different football games and, more importantly, Packers games to potentially go to. Nothing is better than seeing the Green Bay Packers live in action. Right now, you can find super great deals for the upcoming Packers versus Jets preseason opener this Saturday in Lambeau. And if you want to find great deals on Packers tickets, SeatGeek has you covered. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being amazing. Look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code Basaraski10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any set of tickets with promo code Basaraski10. Make sure to go click the link in the description and download the app, and you'll automatically have that code added to use later. Again, a big thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. All right, so now back into the video. Let's dive into the notes and takeaways from day 11 of Packers training camp. First, let's start with the injury updates. There are 3 injury updates we have today. Rasheed Walker has returned to practice in limited fashion. Walker was going through a groin injury, and obviously with Walker out, we've seen a lot of Jordan Morgan at left tackle, #1, and that also didn't change today as they ease Rasheed Walker back in. Edge/defensive lineman Aaron Mosby also returned from a groin injury today. A ton of groin injuries. We saw Tucker Kraft return from one yesterday, Walker and Mosby today, and then also Messiah Swinson returned today. I didn't know he was out, but he was out with an illness. Outside of that, the same did not participate as usual. Emmanuel Wilson, Wicks still out. Would like to see Wicks return soon, but he's still out. Nate Hobbs obviously out. Travis Glover, Kamal Haddon, Marshawn Lloyd, Christian Watson, Colin Oliver, and John Williams. Going over the starters for team sessions on the offense and defense, pretty much the same as yesterday. The offensive line was the same. Jordan Morgan still lining up as the starting left tackle, while again they ease Rasheed Walker back into it as he was limited today. Now, some running backs got some reps with the first team, probably as they ramp up for this first preseason game. Want to get these guys the reps as they're gonna play a lot in this game. Israel Banikonda got some nice reps with the ones and had a nice pass protection rep. Chris Brooks, some reps with the ones. So that probably signals that Josh Jacobs likely won't play in this preseason game. And if he does, it's going to be, 1 drive maximum. And we're going to see a lot of these backup running backs with also Emmanuel Wilson and Marshawn Lloyd on the injury report. They likely won't suit up for this first preseason game either. So a lot of Abaniconda, Chris Brooks, Amar Johnson, and also Jalen White. It seems like there's kind of an ongoing battle for that third linebacker spot. Yesterday, we saw Isaiah Simmons start at that third linebacker spot over Isaiah McDuffie and quickly rotated, and the same happened today. Both Isaiah Simmons and Isaiah McDuffie having a battle of the Isaiahs for that third linebacker spot. They've been switching on and off with the first team. I mean, this much is clear. Edrin Cooper and Quay Walker are the first 2 linebackers, and if the Packers are in nickel and they only have 2 backers out on the field, it's going to be those 2, no matter what, in my opinion. It's up to the third backer spot right now of who's going to win that out. And obviously the Packers have a lot of trust in McDuffie. Hafley does. He coached him at college. He's kind of our backup Mike. If Quay goes down, he can put on the green dot helmet and control the defense. And I still think he would. But I think there's more untapped potential here with Isaiah Simmons as that third guy. I think you could get more out of Simmons. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I think a lot of us are rooting for Isaiah Simmons to get meaningful snaps on this defense and hopefully revitalize his career. All right, so now let's go over the takeaways from today's practice. Again, I released all my 1v1 clips I have from today's practice in the other video, but some takeaways from that. I love watching Romeo Dobbs and Carrington Valentine battle it out. It seems like every day they go against each other in 1v1s and they kind of split every rep. Like one day Dobbs wins 2 out of 3 and the other day Valentine wins 2 out of 3. And it's always a physical battle. I'll put a clip or two up on the screen, but they're always hand fighting, remaining physical, remaining competitive. And I love seeing this from both of these players. Another consistent 1v1 matchup has been, of course, Keyshawn Nixon versus Matthew Golden. A lot of talk about this yesterday on Golden's amazing slant route that he got a ton of separation on Keyshawn Nixon. He ran the same exact route today and Nixon was ready for it, but it still ended up in a Matthew Golden catch. I mean, even when this guy's blanketed in coverage, he's coming down with the football. Now, Nixon did get back at him and had a nice pass breakup on a 9 route. It was a great display of matching Golden's speed, kind of using his body to shield Golden to the outside, not allowing him to get over the top of him. A little bit of underthrown ball, but nonetheless, a great rep by Keyshawn Nixon to get a nice pass breakup. I love seeing these two go after it. And, you know, iron sharpens iron. That's only going to make both players better. As I mentioned earlier, Jordan Morgan again at left tackle. He had a decent day of practice yesterday. Not so great today. Early in team sessions, he was beat by Lucas Van Ness for a would-be sack. I feel like we're saying that every single day, and I can't be happier saying it. We need Lucas Van Ness to make this year 3 jump. Then right after that, Jordan Morgan had a false start. Matt LaFleur seemed pretty agitated about it and took him out, and Anthony Belton went in at left tackle. Now, Morgan returned to left tackle, but quickly Matt LaFleur made that switch. I would like to see Jordan Morgan, really hone in on this left tackle spot with Rasheed Walker being out. But at the same time, he's been playing guard to start all of training camp, OTAs, minicamp. So really stretched between 2 completely different positions on the offensive line. And the Packers really just trying to see what he has at left tackle. I still think Rasheed Walker ends up winning that job at left tackle in 2025, but we'll see how the rest of camp plays out. Still a lot of camp, a lot of preseason games to go. As I mentioned in the 1v1s, Nixon versus Golden, it was also a great practice overall by Keyshawn Nixon. He definitely saw all the talk yesterday about him getting beat by Matthew Golden in a 1v1 rep, which again, 1v1s favor the wide receivers. They, majority of the time, should win those reps. And Keyshawn Nixon responded well today with a very nice practice. Did good in teams. Like I said, did good on a nice 1v1 rep versus Golden as well. We also see Baron Sorrell getting more and more depth, rotational edge rusher snaps with the 2s. He's had a very solid camp. I've talked about him in a few videos, and it seems like a lot of days of practice, he ends up making a play or 2. And I'm really excited for Baron Sorrell. I think this is a guy that in a year or 2, you're going to be looking back and going, wow, how did the Packers get this guy there in the 4th round? Another defender that, to no one's surprise, making plays all over the place. Edgerrin Cooper was flying around today. Sky's the limit with this guy. Had a pass breakup on Kraft. Also a nice deflection at the line of scrimmage. A lot of deflections at the line of scrimmage today. Rashawn Gary also had 2 deflections at the line of scrimmage as well. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention LVN also had another sack on Jordan Love, which would have resulted in a safety, or should I say would-be sack. Obviously, they're not hitting the quarterbacks. And then following that, had a terrific run stuff. Again, just awesome practices so far since the pads have came on for LVN. Devontae Wyatt also had a would-be sack today. I feel like we've heard his name called the last few practices after not hearing much of him to start training camp. Now, Stackhouse and Wooden also saw some first-team reps at that nose tackle position, kind of similar to the running back here. I think, Kenny Clark might not play in this preseason game, and they really just want to get Stackhouse and Wooden up to speed with the first team at that nose tackle spot. It's going to come down to one of those two making the roster, and I think it's going to end up being Stackhouse. Also, a really nice day for Bo Melton at the cornerback position. Every day he just comes in learning more and more, going through this position switch, and I feel like he gets better every single day. He had a really nice pass breakup on a fade route in team sessions versus Malik Heath, which is difficult to do. We know how good Malik Heath is in jump ball situations, and he also had an interception in the 1v1s today versus Julian Hicks. I showed it in my video earlier. I'll put it up on the screen as well. Just pretty much ran the stop route for Julian Hicks. Not a great route by Hicks overall, but Melton comes away with the interception there. During 2-minute drills, finally the offense stepped up. First team offense, second team offense. The first team offense ended the 2-minute drill finally with a touchdown. Jordan Love found both Luke Musgrave and Tucker craft during that drive, but ended the touchdown to none other than, of course, Romeo Doubs on a quick slant route, beating Valentine to the inside. Again, those two just always battling it out. So offense finally scored in a 2-minute drill, as did the second team offense, ending in a 3-yard touchdown from Malik Willis to backup tight end John Fitzpatrick. Sims also had a long touchdown today in team sessions, Ben Sims, so both depth tight ends with touchdowns today. Nice practice from those two. Overall, it was a good day for the defense during team sessions, but then the offense came back in 2-minute drills, first team, second team, and scored touchdowns, which is great to see because the defense has won that drill a lot thus far in camp. Then to wrap things up, some injuries during practice. We have 2 of them. Warren Brinson made a play in teams, then got up favoring his shoulder, and then ended up going into the Don Hudson Center, as did Carl Brooks. So 2 defensive linemen with potential injuries to monitor moving forward. Really don't want to see either of these guys hurt, so hopefully we get positive updates tomorrow. So those are all the takeaways from day 11 of Green Bay Packers training camp. Like I said, day 12 tomorrow is the last day of that 3-practice stretch this week. Then they're off on Friday. Then they have their first preseason game Saturday versus the Jets. Super excited to get this thing rolling, get preseason actually started. Training camp's flying by, but I'm all about it. Getting ready to see these new players, the rookies, the free agents in full speed 100% versus an actual defense where they can give it their all. Super, super excited about that. But I really appreciate you guys coming by to the channel. If you could hit the like button down below, it supports the channel a ton. I'll be back here tomorrow for day 12, but I'll catch you all in the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.